Hello and welcome. My name is Hilary Meehan. I am a graduate student in the Library and Information Science program at San Jose State University's School of Information. The purpose of this brief presentation is to provide our archivists and their organization an informational overview on the topic of archives, AI, and information privacy. Please take as much time as you require to review each slide, and when ready, manually advance to the next slide. Thank you. AI is here. It is also continuously evolving and changing and quickly becoming ubiquitous in everyday life. The time to address the ethical implications for AI design, deployment, and use is now. Luciano Floridi, chairman of the Scientific Committee of AI for People, which advocates for a good AI society, sums up this reality succinctly. AI is not merely another utility that needs to be regulated only once it is mature. It is a powerful force that is reshaping our lives, our interactions, and our environments. President Biden agrees. On October 30th, 2023, the White House issued an executive order entitled The Safe, Secure, and Trustworthy Development and Use of AI, in which he states, harnessing AI for good and realizing its myriad benefits requires mitigating its substantial risks. This endeavor demands a society-wide effort that includes government, the private sector, academia, and civil society. The core principles of that order are listed here. They reflect the essential ethics-based tenets of trustworthy AI as outlined by the European Union's high-level expert group on AI and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Functional societies are underpinned by ethical norms, which members agree to uphold. These norms include non-maleficence, autonomy, fairness, responsibility, beneficence, and explicability. Socio-technical in nature, AI systems and machine learning systems in particular challenge these ethical norms in new ways and create new risks at the individual and societal levels. This is particularly true for society's most vulnerable groups. To uphold these norms in AI contexts, it is crucial that we maintain a human-centered approach by ensuring we act in transparent, equitable, responsible, explainable ways toward the promotion of social good. But first, let's refresh our memories as to the definition of information privacy. Muradian defines information privacy as individual human control over access and flow to their personal space and information. In AI contexts, he expands this definition to include human control over the creation, use, access to, and sharing of personal information by governments and organizations. A component of information privacy, personally identifiable information, or PII, is biometric and/or demographic data related to a specific person which can be used to identify them, either directly or indirectly. Just how does AI put information privacy at risk? Machine learning systems are a form of AI that learn from big data sets. Often these big data sets are so complicated that they are not understandable to humans. This is called a black box. It surfaces the question, if you can't understand it, how can you genuinely consent to it? Reuse and misuse of data. Once data is collected, is it possible to control who, how, and why that data may be reused outside of the scope of the initial collection purpose? And what happens if it is used for nefarious purposes? Data ownership. Biometric and demographic data can be personally identifiable information which requires legal and moral protection. But who owns that data? The individual from whom it was gathered? The organization that gathered it? Perpetuation of biases and discrimination. AI, and particularly machine learning, relies on training data provided by human programmers who, like all of us, have internalized biases. Will those systems perpetuate and even enhance discriminatory biases? Persistent surveillance. These days, smart devices are ubiquitous, but how do we know they are not persistently surveying us beyond the scope of our intended use? These privacy risks are concerning, especially as AI by its nature is continuously evolving and more organizations are implementing it. Fortunately, ethics-based frameworks exist. For example, in 2018, the European Commission's High-Level Expert Group for AI published ethics-based guidelines for trustworthy AI. To achieve trustworthy AI, designers, deployers, and users must adhere to the ethics-based norms reviewed earlier. Further, the group establishes the importance of protecting society's most vulnerable populations. Another example is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD's, recommendation of the Council on AI, published in 2023. Aligning well with the high-level expert group's principles, these recommendations are aimed at policymakers. Archival science is a principles-based profession. As we know, responsible stewardship and balancing access to and use of collections with privacy is not new to archivists. As a socially responsible, service-oriented group, we have long recognized the need to ensure the confidentiality of those individuals included in collection materials. We accomplish this by maintaining original order and provenance, using standardized metadata schema, and when necessary, contractually agreeing to hold in confidence the identity of collection stakeholders. As we implement our AI in our organizations, we must reflect on our professional values within the context of trustworthy AI principles and make policy and procedure adjustments accordingly. Within the context of our professional values, trustworthy archival records are information affixed to a medium with stable content and fixed form, natural byproducts of an activity, interrelated to other records resulting from that activity, impartial to future research questions, and authentic to the creator. When AI systems, processes, or tools are used in archival environments, they must ensure that each of these characteristics is maintained at the object and collection level. Before we review AI use cases in archives, let's define the meaning of an AI record. Luciana Durante of Interpares Trust defines an AI record in archival contexts as an individual archival document. Therefore, in AI terms, an archival document is data. So how do archives utilize or plan to utilize AI in our organizations? The National Archives and Records Administration identifies 7 key use cases, including automatic production of descriptive metadata at the object level, personalizing search experiences with relevant recommendations, facial recognition for historical figures, responding to FOIA requests, chat interfaces, workforce tools, and of particular note, NARA hopes to use AI to automate the identification and redaction of personally identifiable information in its collections. In keeping with the optimistic, leadership-oriented approach to AI use held by the federal government, the National Archives and Records Administration identifies a number of practical benefits to trustworthy AI in archives, including enhancing operational processes and procedures, achieving strategic goals, reducing costs, providing financial oversight, improving mission effectiveness and efficiency, and offering broader access and use of collections. Additionally, Byrne et al. Suggests that novel audience engagement is another realizable benefit. AI for people, however, reminds us to remain vigilant to the ethical risks created by those systems, including reduction of human control, devaluation of human skills, removal of human responsibility, and reduction of human self-determination. In sum, it is crucial that archivists understand both the risks and benefits of AI to our organizations. To achieve trustworthy AI, I recommend that those considering or actively deploying AI systems in archives should consider both the high-level group's ethical requirements and OECD's policy recommendations in order to achieve successful, holistic, and trustworthy AI deployments and use in their organizations. The next 2 slides include a list of all references cited in this presentation. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy lives to learn more about trustworthy AI for archives. Goodbye.